My name's Geoff Mulgan. I'm Chief Executive of the UK's National Endowment for Science, Technology and the Arts. The biggest challenges depends who you are, where you are and so on, and I think it'd be sort of silly to say there was one thing. But I think from the point of view of this conference there is perhaps an overall problem, which is where we devote the innovative resources of the world. At the moment they predominantly go to defence and military spending or to the needs of the rich. And I'd much rather see a world where the brain power, the creativity of the world was directed to things which perhaps were more useful, like well-being or health or the needs of the poor. And that's an enormous sort of meta change, which I hope we might see in the next few decades, which is probably the necessary condition for then dealing with issues like climate change, inequality, and so on. Well, in a way we've got the sort of classic opportunities we've had for the last few decades, which is new knowledge coming out of science and technology, how to do high-speed computing, or at last I think some of the promises of the life sciences and biotechnology will start becoming useful in the next 10 or 20 years. But perhaps the other opportunity we've got is to find very different ways of thinking about innovation itself, which aren't just about hardware and stuff and science, which was the dominant paradigm of the end of the 20th century, but also think about innovation in how we live, innovation in services, innovation in well-being. And that's, to me, a much more exciting opportunity because it opens up not just how we do things, but also what we do. I'm pretty skeptical of the impact of any conference on its own. People can listen to inspiring speeches and then go back to the day job and do the same thing. So I think the greatest use of events like this is probably getting people to make connections across sectoral boundaries, to find people and projects that they can learn from in other fields who they wouldn't meet otherwise. And it's in the relationship which this sort of conference gives rise to that hopefully something new and useful happens. And perhaps people take away one or two tools which they can actually use back in their organisation and in the day job. And a key for me is always with events like this that you try and encourage or even pressurise people to really focus on what they are going to do differently. So it's not just entertainment, even if it is very entertaining, but actually has an effect on behaviour.